Oh, oh, good morning, everybody. Russ from the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe. It is absolutely Baltic today. Absolutely Baltic. Apologies. I thought I'd put it on. I thought I'd started it at 9 o'clock, not 8:30. So I do apologise. Just got here and just jumped on now. Good morning, Stefan. With the right team. Hope you're well. Nice to see you. Mark, apologies for the delay. Pierre Letom, good morning. Good to see you. Oh God, Jesus, seems freezing. I'm here, Mark. Don't worry, I'm here. Albeit, well, apologies. A very, very bright West Ham today. The sun is shining. Budden has his bubble hat on, and it's not going to be a particularly long one today. I'll be honest, because I absolutely am Baltic. Absolutely Baltic. Let's try and move it a little bit so it's not in everyone's way. Absolutely Baltic. Morning, Mark. West Ham take on Martin Mother. West Ham take on Liverpool. 2:05 today. It is a beautiful, crisp winter's morning. Not a cloud in the sky. I think it'll be a nice dry morning, a dry day as well, but it'll be absolutely Baltic. So if you are coming, wrap up, layer up. Got my hat on because although I'm in the box, it's fucking freezing because you've got a hole in the floor to put all the cables through. We play Liverpool side who are obviously 11th now. And as always with these things, you don't know which way it's going to go. A wounded animal. Liverpool, I think they play 4 games in 11 days. We play 3 games in 7 days, really. Having got obviously today, then we play United at Old Trafford on Thursday, then we're away to Brighton at the Amex on next Sunday. So, yeah, 8 days, 3 games. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be about managing squad, managing energy levels. But, you know, results do help momentum, do help you if you're tired and you're on a bit of a run. You know, it's 3 very, very tough games, you know, but, you know, we're undefeated in 3 now. We're undefeated in 3. We've won the last 2 at London Stadium. Can we win the 3rd? Can we get the hat-trick today? We'll have to wait and see. From West Ham's perspective, looks like realistically only Ollie Scars is definitely out. Everyone, you know, the likes of Somerville, Mavropanos, we don't know the full extent of, we assume Somerville will be back. But we're not too sure about that. You know, Hillary, hope you're well. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I think there's Liverpool themselves. I mean, they've got a number of players out, and a number of players who are doubtful. It's suggested that there's going to be a much changed side from Arne Slot's usual side, and maybe even Salah being on the bench, which for some things good. You think it's a good thing. Obviously, one of the Premier League's best players not starting potentially. However, we haven't got confirmation on that. However, the issue is you do get people trying to take their time and trying to take their chance. Freema, mate, I'm cold. It is cold today. I think it's about 4 or 5 degrees today, which is not. I've been in cold. When I was in Lapland, it was like -27, and I was still in a jumper. But it is a bit nippy, in all honesty, and it's not going to be a particularly long one today. Damien, hope you're all. Nice to see you, mate. Yeah, no, it's. I'm excited, but I'm always excited. I like playing the big sides here, and we've got a chance. You know, there is a chance. There is a chance, as always. Looks reason to get my email regarding. Yeah, I haven't sent any of them out, mate, but I will be sending them out next week. Jazz, so don't worry, mate. It's on the thing. I think it's a whitewash from us, 5-0. You think we're going to win 5-0 or we're going to lose 5-0, Hillary? Let me know. Jazzy, we'll be sending it out next week or so. It's just this week's run away with me, and then I've just realised that we've got 3 games next week. Well, today, Thursday, Friday. I knew we played United, but I haven't tallied up the dates. You know, it's the 1st of December tomorrow. Bring them Scousers. Good to see you, John. Hope you're well, mate. Nice to see you too, mate. Yeah, no, I'm excited today. Nervous as well because we know what a wounded animal could do. You know, for all Liverpool's inadequacies this season, they're still the Premier League champions. And they've still got some fucking good players, and if it clicks, there's not many teams that can keep up with them. Hillary thinks we'll win 5-0. The issue is, the trouble is, because Forest won 3-0 at Anfield last week, and there were some weird results yesterday as well, weren't there? There's going to be expectation that every side can win, and I just think sometimes, if they're looking for a typical side to play, West Ham are a good side to play, because you know how to. Because despite the slight upturn in form, if Liverpool get an early goal or dominate the possession, the crowd will get quiet, and it will. Although Damien says the crowd and fans will be up for it today, they will be. It's cold. It will be dry, but it'll be cold, so there'll be a lot of gloved hands. So it doesn't make as much sound as a normal hand. So there we go. Martin will take a 1-0 win. Cold and fresh is okay when it's done. Yeah, exactly. At least when it's dry, you can just wrap up. You don't have to worry about umbrellas and stuff as well. It looks like it's going to be okay on that. It's been a bit horrible in the UK, particularly this way in the last couple of days. So it's nice for it to not be raining at the moment. It doesn't look like it's going to rain today, so which is good. We'll have the Starting 11 show. We'll also have the watch along and the reviews afterwards, and sort of the fan cams afterwards, as we always do. But yeah, it's always fun when you play Liverpool. It is, isn't it? It's always fun. Hope Wilson and Somerville are available, says Damien. I think Wilson will be right. It's Somerville. But then I think it depends what you believe. From certain news outlets, it does look like he's okay, and it literally was just a knock. However, from others, they do say it's a little bit more serious. So again, we don't know. Steve will take a draw. Are you not on the beers? No, I'm not working. I'll go in there in a minute. I've got to play all the music. I'll go and test all the speakers and play all the music. Otherwise, I am the button monkey. Looks okay in training, says Damien. Yeah, but then �rypanović looked okay in training last week, and then wasn't even in the matchday squad. So, yeah. It's cold. Do I need a coat? Yes, you need a coat. It's going to be, I know it's going to creep above 10 degrees today, which is not cold in some respects, but it is in others. And yeah, I'll definitely wear a coat. If we go for it and get an early goal, mustn't sit back, must keep going. We never have a better chance to beat Liverpool, says Jazz. Yeah, I second that entirely. Whether we will is another thing. We know there's a pragmatic side to Nuno, which is a defensive first perspective. However, things do change, and there is, I'd say, more optimism in the West Ham side than there is probably in the Liverpool side at the moment, randomly. It's been touted that a loss today could see Arne Slot lose his job. I think that's fair enough. Results are when they want them to be, and they spent an absolute ton load of money at the weekend during the summer. So I think West Ham are a bit confident. We're getting a real team togetherness again now. And you're right. I think, they're a wounded animal. And I think sometimes if you can get an early goal, they'll go into themselves. And, you look at, I know it's a different side, but you look at Everton yesterday against, they lost quite heavily. Couple of quick early goals to Newcastle. Anything's possible when it comes to West Ham. That's the issue. What we got here? Morning, everybody. Happy Emirates. Hope you're well. Morning, Russ. Can we all? Yeah, 4th minute. I think everyone's going to be singing Billy Bonds' "Clap Your Army." Happy Emirates. Good morning to you. What we got here? I found the bar behind the goal area. Oh my God, how nice! Yes, it is. Yeah. Although some people don't like the fact that we've got a beer garden in the middle of the stadium. Holding my breath on substitutions is the biggest worry. Can't get images of some of the promise out of my head. Damien, Green Street late, Budgie up, you're well, nice to see you. Don't promise at the back, just they give him too much space. It's not that, but it's a space between the defence and the midfield. If that is tight, then you don't get people in the gaps, and I think that's where we've lost. Some games. I'm looking at the Brentford game particularly. There was enough gap from Ďámsgaard to literally sit in that little hole in the middle, and be absolutely just tear us a new one. However, I think with the Potts, Fernandez, and obviously don't forget we welcome back Paqueta as well. Yeah, we played that game against Bournemouth without Paqueta and without Somerville, and came away with a draw in a decent game. Although they did lose to Sunderland, didn't they? 3-2 at the weekend. So fancy us 3 wins, said Adam. Is Nigel in the chat? Is Nigel in the chat? Have I seen Nigel? Come on. Where is it? If you're in bad form playing West Ham, if you score first, then Liverpool will panic. Yeah, I totally agree. Did I see Nigel could definitely lose today, says Nigel Card. Good morning to you, Nigel Card. I hope you're well. Defensively, you're still poor. Liverpool still have the players. That's my thought exactly. The issue is doesn't matter how what does they say? Thing is, form is I can't remember the expression, but something you know what I mean. And, something's class. Form is permanent. Is permanent? Something's permanent. Liverpool are still a very good side, and you think with West Ham and how we're, although we're starting to turn. It's a bit like an oil rig, oil traders very slowly. It doesn't take a lot for us to go back, and that's the issue for me. Class is permanent, form is temporary. Thank you, Nigel Card. There's a reason why you're on here, and I couldn't think of it. My brain's too cold. I'm gonna get up. I'm too cold. I'm gonna walk and talk. I'm too cold. It's like, it's cold when I've got a hat on. And obviously now, because Nigel's now had his birthday, everyone's allowed to put their Christmas decorations up now. Sorry, Nigel, I was a little bit early, as per usual. I know you don't like the Christmas decorations up until past your birthday. Looks sunny but cold. It is exactly that, ladders. It is a beautiful winter's morning. Beautiful winter's morning. However, it is a winter's morning and it is very cold. I think it's about 4 degrees, 4 or 5 degrees. So it is very, very cold, but it is lovely. And it looks like it's going to be dry as well. So there we go. That's for me the important one. Not necessarily if it's cold, if it's dry. I don't mind it when it's cold, but I hate it when it's wet. But obviously we play now 3 games in 8 days. I think we've sort of overlooked that fact a little bit now. So after today, we play obviously United away on Thursday, and then we play Brighton on the Sunday. So 3 really, really, really tough games. Really tough games. And obviously going into the winter program, it's crucial we pick up points not only for our Premier League survival, but also to make us attractive in January. If we're, the first thing someone's going to do when they say, "Oh, you're linked to do," then look at the table and see where they are. And if we're languishing in the bottom, 4 or 5, people go, "Don't fancy that." If we're sort of mid-table or 12th, then they'll probably fancy it a little bit more as well. We got what we got here. Oh god, there's loads of comments. If a team needs a favour, pop up West Ham indeed. Thermals definitely thermals today. Definitely thermals. Let's just go to the bottom. Apologies, I'm just going to go straight to the bottom, so I can't see it on my phone. Agree, Rusty. 3 really tough games. It is, and they're all sides that pervert. United, these do okay. They've done okay with United in recent years, but obviously Brighton, we know what Brighton brings, and obviously Liverpool. I think in our entire history, I think we've played 100. It's on the stat attack, 100 and something games. We've lost almost 90 games against them. Can we get Slot the sack? Yes, I believe so today. I reckon. Do you think Fulker will do the business? No, we know that one's not going to work now, Davian. It does seem that January he's off ski, with a number of clubs interested in him, as you can imagine. Looking to get some permanent first team football as well for him, and something which works and just hasn't worked at West Ham. I'm gutted because I really thought he would do a job, and I think when he's been on the pitch, he's been all right, but it just hasn't been on the pitch enough for me. Whether we got our money back is another thing on him, or whether it's a loan deal or loan of obligation, we'll see. I think it's more likely to be a loan of obligation. I don't think a lot of clubs will want to spend a lot of money on someone. You never know. I do like Nicholas. If you've seen his video with Andy Irving, but who else? Who also will probably leave in January. going to a Scottish cafe. He seems a really nice guy as well. So I'm going. Leave Wilson on for 65 minutes, 70 minutes, he'll be okay. I hope that there was a. And he does. And what I like about Nuno, I think he does seem to learn from his mistakes. So he wasn't going to put Wilson on the pitch, and then obviously because Ollie got injured in Leeds, he came on, scored, scored, and I think there's, I think he does seem to learn. So I think taking off, unless Wilson had got a knock as well, but even so, you would have probably just taken him on for full crew. If anything, you'd probably a bit more physicality up front with full crew than you do with Wilson. I've heard there'll be some balloons going up, quite possibly. I imagine there would be, Budgie, to be honest. And I think as long as you don't fuck about with the side today, I think he'll go. Personally, I'd go back to the back four. I don't think someone like Igor really did anything to sort of warrant getting into the side. Full crew was always 50 deciding. Yep, good point, Mark. Good point, Nigel. Jeremy did slow down. Good enough if he played with proper when he's not inverted. I think he could do better. I totally agree, Nigel. I think he could. I think he had all the attributes to be a decent West Ham signing. Exactly what we want. You think with someone like Diouf playing as well, just those balls in, and he was. If we're led to be believed, the first time he met Falkirk, he said, "I've been watching you. I want to whip the ball in. You want to whip the ball in just in the penalty box by the 6-yard line, and that." And he was like, "Yeah." If that had happened and he'd stayed fit, but it's always the case there. You look at proverbially. Look at Skimakka. I thought Skimakka was going to be the man. Having watched a bit of Serie A, I thought he was going to be really good. Got ill, got COVID, went home, and that was it. That was the issue. We had, I think Kev Nolan said that to us. Once he went on home, that was the worst thing he could have done, because then he got homesick, and that was it. And he's only a young lad. Hopefully, it won't happen to Promise David if he comes in. I like the look of him. 6'5", quick, not explosive off the line, but very quick once he gets going. A proper sort of like sprinter rather. He probably wouldn't beat you in the first 10 yards, but after 10 yards he's gone. Once he's gone, he's gone. So we're interested to see what happens in January. I think we need at least 3 players, and at least. The problem with Scott Mackel was he was pushed to the forefront early. I disagree. I think the problem was he wasn't as such. He didn't start the first few games, and then he got injured, and then he came on, and then there's an expectation when you come on, and then he got ill, and then went home, and that was the horse's mouth in terms of Kevin, who was obviously part of the coaching staff. He said that was the worst thing that could have happened. If he hadn't gone home, he would probably still be a West Ham player and be banging goals. And it's those sort of sliding doors moments that all too happen when it comes to West Ham and signings. But hey ho, he wasn't ready to meet expectation. I think he was. That's the. I think he was. I'm arguing against you, David, in terms of that society. He had all the. If he hadn't gone out, if he stayed and recovered in England, he would have adapted to English life better. You can buy the best striker in the world, but if there's no one feeding him, you're totally right. But I think we do have people feeding them. I think we do have that, as you said, the likes of, I think Diouf's one of the best assisters in the Premier League, or certainly one of the best defensive assisters in the Premier League. I remember that average vein of form from Antonio and the fans demanding change. I think, I know. I mean, there is definitely. I think we definitely miss aspects of Antonio's game. There's certain aspects we don't miss. There's certain aspects we do, and having that option, that explosive option up front, having someone who can run fast is very useful. He wasn't a clinical striker, let's be honest, David. He wasn't a very clinical striker. Statman Ben, hope you're well. Sorry, my lips aren't working particularly well. It's very cold out here. Still glad that we didn't even have a look at Luciano Valente, who was absolutely perfect for West Ham. Oh, there we go. There we go. There's plenty of players who I thought we could have gone for who've been perfect for West Ham as well. Obviously, we'll see. Obviously, the Russian win rating, the original win rating has been back. We actually did a player profile. Speaking about Statman Ben, we did a player profile about Promise David. Antonio had to come in and save the day, play the final, and drag us out of a relegation scat. Well, he saved the day, Damien. He was fit. That was always the issue with Antonio. I think he's always forever had problems with fitness. And I think if he hadn't got been injured so often with his hamstrings or whatnot, then I think he'd have probably scored another 10 or so goals. I mean, he wasn't prolific. Let's be honest. It was more of over a space of time. I mean, you look at it now. Bowen is 8 goals away from beating him with, I think, 60 or 70 games on top, and that just shows you, consistency as well. But considering, Bowen's was at the club probably half as long. No, not half as long. Tell lie. No, about 3 or 4 seasons shorter than Antonio was to hit that mark. So, and we never bought him as a striker, did you? We bought him as a winger. Really, he played right back for a lot of his time initially under Slaven, and then went to a right wing, and then was converted. And as always, it seems to be with West Ham, our best strikers are actually converted wingers. Him, Arnautovic. Arguably two of I always thought Arnie was someone who didn't get a lot of credit. He was the perfect centre forward for that 4-2-3-1 formation, I thought. Love to see Antonio Wilson up front today. God, was that 70? No, 80, isn't it? No, 70, 79? 69. 69 age combined up front. Could you just imagine it? Could you just imagine it? God, they could actually, as a duo, get their own pension. That's how crazy. John's gone for a 3-1 victory. Let's get your scores in quickly, because I am absolutely Baltic today. I'm going to go with Desmond today. I think it's going to be a draw. Don't know why. I think it's going to go for a 2-2. Personally, I think there's a lot in the game. I think there's a lot in the game for both sides, really. I think similarly, although they are a wounded soldier, wounded animal in terms of Liverpool, from Liverpool's perspective, the crowd are still near. The crowd are still near. So, an early couple of goals, we would see the crowd, particularly a cold day. People are like, fuck it, I'm going to go in. I'm going to go get a pint. I'm going to go in and get home early, put the roast on. It's that type of game. I think if everyone's together and collectively, then everyone keeps warm. But as soon as there's a few gaps appear, it's going to get a bit quiet. It's going to get a bit cold for sure. So I can't see everyone's comments because of the sun. Our coaching and scouting fail us in a decade, but converted wingers with the likes of Brentford, likes of some used. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I think be interested to see what happens now with this. Obviously, we've got a deal now with creating this AI tool, which I think will be quite interesting to see how that works. Yeah, it's weird with us and strikers. I've never got it with us and strikers. We've signed. We had like Chicharito. Do you know what I mean? Like, we had some of the best. One of the best strikers in the Premier League. In the Premier League era, and couldn't do anything really. And yeah, we've had a few. There's been a few Sully specials in there for sure, but cubby-wise, it's like you think about some of the caliber of some of the players we've had in. It's very strange, but also the caliber of some of the players we bought who aren't up to speed. There's some good ones in the middle. There's good ones, half decent ones in the middle, but the likes of Jonathan Calleri, Wellington Paulista, these types of guys. It's unsurprising that they never really made it because they were shit to start with. Although Jonathan Calleri was, I think, if he hadn't hit the post or missed that goal against Man United, I think you would have seen a different player. And it's those sort of moments in time, isn't it? Just those. They can either make or break a player's career, and we've had too many where they've broken the career rather than made the career. But again, that's been part of a West Ham fan. Get out in the sun. Oh, that's about Jesus. That's about bright. A few more comments, and I'm going to have to go because I need a wee as well. Who's doing the watch along? Anton will be doing the watch along. Clearly, not me. So he'll be doing the watch along later on. So keep an eye on the channel. But that with the starting 11 show as well. What's the step count? I don't know. I don't know. Because I've stopped halfway through, it hasn't registered it. Let's have a look. Plenty of steps, mate. We all want to get to the fucking top of the stairs, and you know it. And you know it, my friends. I can't be bothered to find it, to be honest. What are we doing? Oh, it's just keep going. What are we doing at the moment? How many steps have we done? For Nigel. Come on. Riveting. 3,000 steps so far, Nigel. Already today. There we go. My 10 will be done. Indeed. I'm going to drop a bollock. Gets hope. Anyway, I'm going to have to shoot. I'm really, really sorry, but I'm so cold at the moment. If you're new around here, like, comment, share. Don't forget to check out, obviously, More Than Just a Podcast with Nigel. Great podcast. Yeah, Anton will be back later on. Also, we've got Budgie in the chat. Don't forget to check out Old School Hammers every Wednesday on the West Ham Network. And obviously, got Statman Ben in there as well. Don't forget to check out Statman Ben's. We had Who Is Promised David Stat Attack yesterday. We had the Stat Attack for the game today. And then tomorrow, after the game, we'll do the roundup as well. The breakdown in terms of all the stats and figures from the game with Statman Ben. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay warm. If you're coming here, layer up. And I'll see you soon. Much love. Peace out. Bye.